So I haven't had fish in like 10 years, but you are a more recent vegan. So you tried one and?
Eerily like fish.
All right, we recently made salmon and then I got some requests for fish sticks. So that's what we're doing. Hey guys, I'm Candace the Edgy Veg and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, thumbs up, bell, you know, all that stuff that helps out my channel so more people see it. Like I said, a couple weeks ago, I tested out some fellow bloggers' salmon recipes, vegan salmon, tofu salmon, and I got some requests for fish sticks. So today we're gonna make that. I took kind of what I learned from some of those recipes that I tested the other week, plus a marinade that I have for my own salmon recipe for salmon lox, and I kind of mashed them all together and this is what I've come up with. So the base of our fish sticks is going to be tofu. I have pressed this. You definitely want to press it for at least half an hour. So whether that's in a tofu press or, you know, wrap it up and put a bunch of heavy things on top of it, it's really up to you. But I want to start with the marinade. So like I said, I used a lot of inspiration from the recipes that we tested the other week, plus my own salmon lox marinade to come up with this that I think is very interesting. So in the blender, everything's done in the blender, which we love. We're gonna add some water, olive oil, miso. I think any recipe that has to do with, you know, fishiness should definitely have that. I have some seasoned rice vinegar, caper brine, trust the process, lemon juice, and then some Old Bay seasoning and bouillon. And of course, always some sort of seaweed. I'm just using nori. If you have like kombu, you can use that, or wakame, or whatever seaweed that you want. But I mean, nori is pretty inexpensive and easy to find everywhere. And then just go ahead and blend that. So definitely blend it for like at least 30 seconds. So you'll end up with this kind of like muddy looking marinade. For the next part, you wanna pour a little bit of the marinade onto or into some sort of vessel that's going to be big enough to hold all of your tofu. I find that like a casserole dish or a baking dish is really great for this. So you just wanna pour some to cover the bottom completely. That, and the rest we're going to save to pour on top of our tofu after. So you can set this aside while we prepare the tofu. All right, so like I said earlier, our fish part is going to be, or I guess the base of our fish is going to be tofu. I've pressed this, definitely make sure that you press it, and you just wanna slice it into like 1/2 inch slices. So you'll end up with something that looks like this. I mean, they're more like fish rectangles than fish sticks, I guess. All right, so now you just kind of want to line them up. So I like to do kind of midsection to midsection. So I'll do like this. I'm gonna grab some chopsticks, put them on either side, and then we're just gonna slice. So just slice it across. This is gonna help you not go too far. So you want them to look like something like that. And you can do some super thin ones, but don't go too thin because I find that then they get super delicate. You just want to mimic that flakiness. And if you watched the video a couple weeks ago, you'll remember that this is how Sam from It Doesn't Taste Like Chicken made her salmon. And you can slide those chopsticks down. All right, so then go ahead and just place them into your sheet here. I like to do them cut side up just because they're super delicate, and that way I can like scoop them from the bottom without breaking them in any way. But you just wanna place them in there with enough space for marinade to get in between. But be very careful because they're very delicate. And then you can just pour the rest of that marinade all over. So make sure that you're covering each one. And then let that marinate for an hour. All right, so our fake fish, vegan fish, tofu, has been marinating. So I'm going to bread it. There's a couple ways that you can cook this. You can bread it and throw it in the oven. You can bread it and deep fry it. You can bread it and fry it on your stove, air fry it. It's really up to you. But no matter how you decide to cook it, this like breading part is going to be the same. So in a bowl here, I have some soy milk, some flour, and then I have panko breadcrumbs as well as like regular breadcrumbs. Yes, sure. And for seasoning, I'm just gonna use Old Bay because it's pre-seasoned, or it's like a seasoning mix. Why would I tell you to like mix like 5 other seasonings together when this already goes so well with like fishy flavors? So I'm just gonna whisk that. So I like to have everything prepared before I do the next step of using the nori to create like a fish skin. I just want everything ready to go because you wanna move fairly quickly at this process. I just have a normal baking sheet here. I like to use a silicone baking mat. You can also use parchment paper, parchment paper, and you wanna grease it. I'm just using like Pam, just a cooking spray. You can also use like a vegan butter if you want, or just oil. But I would use like a neutral oil, something like avocado or vegetable oil. And definitely do this generously because we kind of wanna make sure that we are getting like that fry effect without frying. So now we're going to add the skin, if you will. So just take a sheet of nori. I'm putting it just right on a cutting board here, and I'm going to paint it with some of the marinade just to help it stick to the tofu. Just adding a bit of that marinade just helps everything stick together. You use a generous amount. You've got tons of marinade there. You'll need 1 to 2 sheets for this. And then very carefully, because everything's really delicate at this point, you wanna go in and grab your tofu very delicately. You don't want the nori to go on the top where it's cut, you want it to go on the bottom. So what I like to do is just like stick it on the nori here and then followed by the next one, but leave just enough space that you can cut between them. Make sure that you're shaking off the excess because we already have marinade on there. And I mean, you can use this marinade for other things. You don't have to use tofu. I mean, if you like to make hearts of palm, like fish tacos or something, you can use this for that. Or like fish and chips using something else. Maybe like eggplant, you can use this marinade. All right, so you should have something that looks like this. I'm just gonna wash my hands. Oh, and if you do a lot of cooking, like go on Amazon and like get like bartending towels. They're so much better than regular dish towels. Just a side note. Now, I find the easiest way to do this is with a pizza cutter. This is a super sharp pizza cutter. Cut between the pieces of tofu. And I also like to just, you know, cut off the excess. Because then you're getting just the exact size, which, I mean, that's what you want. Instead of sitting there like trying to guess, like cutting each little individual square and then putting it on there. All right, so you should end up with something that looks like this. You have your slits on one side, you have your nori on the other. Dip it into your flour. Be very gentle, they're pretty delicate. Shake off the excess, put it into your soy milk or aquafaba or egg replacer or whatever it is that you're using. Throw it into the breadcrumbs and definitely pat the breadcrumbs on. And then you can go ahead and just put this nori side down onto your baking sheet. And repeat! To help everything stick, I am, you know, if it's really dry, the nori is really dry, I'm just gonna brush it with a little bit of extra marinade. We've got our flour, throw it into our soy, and then just coat it. I mean, heck, just make a beer batter. Make some beer battered fish with this. Okay, so you have them on your pan, it's well greased. Now, spray them with more cooking spray on the top, just so that you get that. I mean, you don't have to, but this will be dry, versus if you spray it, it'll be nice and crispy, and you get that deep fried effect without actually having to deep fry. Okay, now put them in the oven for 6 minutes, and then flip them, and then put them back for like 6 minutes. Bye! Get a nice tan. Oh, look at that flakiness. Ah, it's flaky, look at that. All right, that flakiness is everything. I have some tartar sauce here, so we're going to try it with that, but you can just do like a squeeze of lemon or whatever your favorite dip is for fish sticks. Oh my God. It's like soft and flaky and like, oh my God, this is, definitely make this. This is so good. I would even say do this overnight, like marinate it overnight, because then the tofu really breaks down and it'll be even flakier. Honestly, guys, 10 out of 10. Honestly, like one of my favorite recipes I've made in a while. I mean, chicken nuggets who? It's time for fish sticks. The recipe for this will be in the description box down below, along with the tartar sauce. And if you're new here, hit the subscribe button, do the like thing, you know, turn on the notifications, all of that jazz, and I'll see you next time. Oh, and if you have recipe requests, you can leave them in the comment section. Okay, bye.